What's up, y'all? We are here in the Chrome Corner again to do some fight picks. And this event that we're picking for is UFC Fight Night, Felder versus Dos Anjos. I was trying to see what Fight Night number it was, but I don't see it on here. So I'm just going to go through the picks from bottom to top, and I won't really talk too much. This is going to be a quick video just to get some picks out to y'all. I'm going to start from the bottom, like I said, go to the top, and then I'll talk a little bit about Felder and Dos Anjos, and then the rest of what's going on in the UFC. Charlie T and I will talk about on Monday. Maybe I'll get it out to y'all on Tuesday. Could be Monday. We'll see. Maybe even later. It kind of depends on how the schedule goes. But there's a lot going on in MMA, so a lot to talk about. But let's start from the bottom of this one. We got Eric Anders versus Antonio Arroyo. I'm going to go with Anders in that fight. We've got Kay Hansen versus Corey McKenna. I'm going to go with Hansen in that fight. We've got Brendan Allen against Sean Strickland. I'm going to go with Brendan Allen in that fight. We've got Abdul Razak Al-Hassan versus Chaos Williams. I mean, dude was destined to be a UFC fighter, wasn't he? His name is Chaos. But I'm going to go with Abdul Razak. I don't know if he's still here, but I know he used to live in Dallas, Fort Worth. I have a connection between him and a friend of mine that I grew up with, one of my best friends actually. They used to bounce at bars together. I'm going to go with Abdul on this one. But like I said, I'm not going to go too much into these other fights lower on the card, although they are main card. And now to Paul Felder versus Rafael Dos Anjos. Pretty big fight for both of these guys. They're both on the back nine of their careers. Paul Felder, was borderline retired right before this fight and kind of came out on short notice. Taking a short notice fight, that always makes things tough. Rafael Dos Anjos is on a little bit of a skid. I mean, he's lost 4 of his last 5. And before that, he was on a nice little run of 3 decent names. But he lost to Michael Chiesa, lost to Leon Edwards. He beat Kevin Lee, lost to Kamaru Usman, lost to Colby Covington. Those are some big names. Like, you have to give Dos Anjos respect for the fact that he's fighting these top-notch, big-name guys. So if you're going to lose to some guys, I mean, at least it's, guys at the top of the heap. But it's tough when you're on a skid like that, it seems like, for these fighters to get out of that rut. I'm sure that's what he's looking to do, especially towards the end of his career. I know he doesn't want to end on a loss, and I don't know how much longer Dos Anjos is going to fight. I mean, he's had... Let's see, he's 29-13. That's a lot of fights. Felder has had less fights, and he's been doing a little bit better lately, but I still wouldn't say that he's done up to his potential. I think he actually beat Dan Hooker. He lost his last fight to Dan Hooker, and after that's kind of where he said, all right, maybe I'm not going to make another run at this title. But I think he should. I think he beat Dan Hooker personally, and I would have loved to have seen a Paul Felder versus Dustin Poirier. But then we had Poirier fighting Hooker, which is also an amazing fight. So I'm sure Poirier would have been that too, and Poirier edged out Hooker, which I do think was a correct decision on that. So it's tough for both of these guys. It's tough for me to even choose. And I'll give you this: If both guys had a full camp, I would be going with Paul Felder, especially with his recent track record. He's won 5 of his last 7, and whereas Dos Anjos has lost 4 of his last 5. That's a big difference. Some of the level of competition is different, but there's some big names on Paul Felder's too. Charles Oliveira, Edson Barboza, James Vick was climbing up the ranks. Obviously, he's fell quickly after that, but Mike Perry lost, Dan Hooker lost, but like I said, I think he beat Dan Hooker myself. It's tough, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop rambling here, and I'm going to pull out. I'll be honest, it's tough to choose between these two. I've got to go with Dos Anjos as far as he's had a full camp. Paul Felder's 5 days notice coming in here, but damn, it's tough. You just don't know if Paul Felder, because Paul Felder's got heart like nobody's business, so that's tough. It's hard not to go with the guy who's had a full camp, though. I'm going to go with Rafael Dos Anjos taking the win, maybe a split decision. I think it does go to a decision. Both of these guys are super tough, and one's better at ground, one's better standing. It probably depends on where the fight goes. So I'm going to give the nod to Dos Anjos, and you see I got my look at the Irish shirt on here with my shamrock on it. So my heart is definitely with Felder. I'm going to be pulling for Felder in this fight, especially being on short notice, and I'm sure he's the underdog because of that. But if I had to bet money on it, I'm just going to go with the smart pick would be Dos Anjos because he's at a full camp. And I think he needs a win a lot more than Felder needs a win. Felder's a little more on the fence of retirement because he's talked about retiring. But we'll see. That's my picks, guys. So the Chrome Corner, there's my picks. And if I can get Charlie's picks before the end of the night, maybe I'll put his picks in this video as well. Either way, you'll probably see him on our Instagram. We'll post before the fights tomorrow night of who our picks are, in case anybody wants to put money on these fights. I'm probably not putting any on this card. It's too much of a toss-up on these fights. And I'm not extremely confident in any of the underdogs. But that's the fight picks for the Chrome Corner for this week. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up if you like the content. I'm going to be trying to get a lot more content out to you guys here soon. Just dropped some cards, some sports cards, UFC specifically on my Mercari page recently, a couple days ago. So check that out for the Chrome Collect portion of this channel. And see you guys next time. I'm out.